Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dev Talk Show. We're here on a Monday on April 13th of 2026. And I'm here with my co-host, Rich Ross. How's it going this Monday morning?
Doing well, Chris. Happy Monday.
Awesome.
Happy Monday.
Yep, we're here. We even have, it looks like we even have our associate producer here.
Ah,
He's there today. So,
looking over your
how
shoulder, make sure it's all going smoothly.
are we doing so far? Okay, good job. All right. So now that I got him up. So this could,
Yeah.
yeah, here we go. So maybe that was a mistake. But in any case, welcome to the Dev Talk Show. We've talked about a lot of things on the show lately. We spent a lot of time with Foundry agents, and in fact, on Wednesday at Philly.net, we're going to spend some time with Foundry agents in a hands-on lab, and so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And all you really need is an Azure subscription, and then of course, I guess some tooling. Probably Visual Studio Code's enough.
hmm
Should be. So, and then I think after I kind of have that done, I think that might be a good opportunity to record it here at home, and kind of put all together what we've done, over a pretty long playlist.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty
That'd
nice
be
too.
cool. Kind of tie it all up and put a bow on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still a lot more I think to do with agents, with AI. There's even some other things we've talked about on shows about going beyond the chatbot, which I really do look forward to doing. So
Cool.
we'll be able to get all that stuff done, I think. All right. So today, Oh My Posh is I feel, I wonder sometimes just because I know something pretty well, I assume everybody knows. But Oh My Posh is a customizable prompt creation, or prompt engine maybe, and it works for any shell. It doesn't just work in like Windows or Mac or Linux. And what's kind of nice about that is you can sort of unify. If you work in multiple platforms, you can kind of unify them and customize your prompt to tell you more or be more than just the file location you're sitting in at the moment.
hmm
Yeah.
So sorry, I was
No.
doing a little bit of account remediation or basically making sure I was signed out of one account in another account that we can show on stream. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Try to be more cognizant of that. I've been lucky because the last couple of shows you have done, and you've shown a number of things, but more and more, I want to be careful what gets shown. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. So it's Oh My Posh. It's I'm a fan, as you can tell. It's got the shirt. So definitely go out there, support Jan de Dobelier, I think is how you pronounce his name there. He's awesome. He's been doing a lot of great stuff. It's one of the first three things I install on my machine when I have a new machine. It's VS Code, it's Git, and then Oh My Posh, because everything else I do more and more ends up in the command line. So this kind of led to this idea that we want to kind of try on the stream here. I know, Chris, you're going to bring up maybe something you've done in the past that kind of edited an existing segment or a portion of Oh My Posh. Oh, there you go. And what we're going to try and do, try and do here is build our own from scratch. So this is interesting. I don't know how far we'll get, but
so what's interesting is that like there's all these themes, and you can even just the themes all point to like let's say you like this theme right here. You can just click and you can find this JSON file directly on GitHub, and you can just pull it down and basically put it somewhere on your machine, and then depending on what prompt you use, you can add it to your bash, like start up your RC. You can add it to your PowerShell profile. It even supports Windows Command. But on Windows Command, and again, I haven't done this. I tried it briefly. You have to, I think you have to install like an extra thing for Windows Command, but the rest of the platforms you don't, because you know anything a little bit more modern than that, it doesn't have to be that much more modern, has like startup type files or or a place where you can basically say, hey, every time I start you up, do this. So I don't have a whole lot because I actually realized just how sparse my prompt has become. But this is my personal JSON file, and just to kind of really, really quickly go through it, you can define things about your prompt to begin with. And then what you do is you define segments. And the segments, for example, I can use styles that already exist, but I can also just like start to tweak them.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we go down through this list, I have the get segment. The get segment I use. And so there is, if we go back to the Oh My Posh documentation and we see segments, I can come down and pick the source control get. And it basically says displays get information when you're in a Git repository. So what's really happening under the covers, right, is every time the prompt is coming up, it's just taking a quick peek to see, hey, is this folder a folder with a Git repo? Like, is it, initialized and everything? And if it is, what's great about Git is since everything's sitting there in the Git subfolder, the .git subfolder, it can dive in and figure things out and then expose those to you. And so like we were talking about, you can write Go code as modules and add it in. And so there's a module that, and I'm not sure if module is the correct term to use, so I want to be careful there. But
Okay.
since it exposes properties, it exposes like, okay, are you in the working folder? What's staging? What's changed? Or how far are you ahead? How far are you behind? That's all being exposed by a piece of code that's diving into the Git folder real quick and checking like what's going on.
Right.
And so I took that and I, in my particular version, and I think, I picked what I think is important to me. I wanted to basically know like if they're working or changed, and I want to use a specific color. So I have different colors to kind of show, am I ahead, am I behind, stuff like that. You can bring in Unicode glyphs or characters, and so you'll see a lot of these, many of these prompts will use pretty cool looking like glyphs and stuff in fonts, and they all kind of tend to have something in common. They're almost always the font is almost always in I don't want to say an implementation, but it's a nerd font, and nerd fonts is a whole other topic of fonts. It could be a popular coding font. Like if we go way back in the day, Consolas was a coding font that was often in Visual Studio. Nowadays, there's like Cascadia Code, and there's other things that ship with Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code.
Yeah.
There are nerd font versions of those where all these glyphs have been added, and they're glyphs for everything like commonly used symbols, or even logos. So like there's the little GitHub cat and the little Azure symbol. And so you can take that and like use it to provide yourself more information. My prompt is pretty sparse these days. As you can see, as I bring it on screen here, I just show the folder I'm in. I do show whether or not I'm an administrator.
Okay.
And then I show if we're in a Git repo. So let me pick a Git repo. Let me pick a Git repo here. If we're in a Git repo, it goes ahead and says, oh, this is a GitHub repo.
Nice.
And here's the branch you're on. And, you have some changes. Here's how far behind you are, and so I will admit that I don't read this as quickly. Like my brain just doesn't have it memorized as well as me just hitting Git status and saying, oh, I see. There's 4 modifications. There's 4 changes. There's 2 untracked files. So
you probably one commit.
Well, the funny thing about it is it says it's up to date, so I actually don't remember what the
Yeah.
floppy disk means. I just don't remember. But I do kind of like this to let me know what branch I'm on. That's actually pretty helpful to me.
Yeah. Mhm.
The other thing that I do, and again, it's not going to show up here because of how far away it is that I use AZ log. I use the AZ CLI.
Sure.
And if you're logged in with the AZ CLI, and again, it's been a long time since I've updated this, or if you were using the PowerShell AZ, because those two things coexisted for quite a while. And I mean, I think PowerShell AZ actually still might be out there, but it's like, it's sort of one of those things where, hey, move on to the Azure CLI. When you use either of those CLIs, or like, you do with the GitHub CLI, right? You log into Azure, you log into GitHub. And so that way there's a credential already stored, and I can do AZ commands. I could create a resource group. I could do something from here, and it's fine. It all just works. But this allows me to know whether I'm actually even logged in at all, because if I do an AZ log out, then that symbol is going to go away. And now the prompt is gone, so I'm not even logged in. And then if I do an AZ login, then it's basically going to ask me some questions about like, which one do I want to log in with? And what's nice about that is I have a couple Azure accounts. So I just give myself a tiny bit of space to show me which one I'm logged into.
Okay.
It used to like show the whole thing, and then I realized, I don't really need more than 5 characters. So you have that power in Oh My Posh to say things like, okay, this is on the right side, and it's the Azure segment, and my template for it is to abbreviate the name of the Azure subscription so that it's only 8 characters, which basically means 5 characters and ellipsis.
Okay.
Right. And then I even have some other things like, hey, if the environment name is from Azure Cloud, which, as you may know, Azure Cloud, at least I think for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure this is correct. Even I think my terminology is correct, not just Oh My Posh. That means it's just like the public. You sign up for it right now, because there are some like government clouds. And basically,
and even on private clouds, when you have things like Azure Local and things of that nature.
Yeah. Briefly, there was a brief period of time where that was important for me to know.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the only accounts I work in today are going to be Azure Cloud. And so I just wanted to make sure that was clear to me. This isn't a huge segment. And as you can see, I'm pretty minimalist about what I do. There's a .NET segment, and it's been a while since I've looked at it, but the .NET segment, for a while, I'm not 100% sure where it is today, but what it would do is, look at this. I think it's in. A lot of us were asking for this. We were asking for a way for it to tell us what SDK version the project was. I'm actually finding that to be less important, but there was a time where it was like, oh my gosh, And so what was happening is that if you fetched version, it would basically just get you the latest.
Okay.
But if you had multiple versions on your machine, it wasn't important to me what the latest was. It was important to me what version this project is. And of course, that's kind of a meaningless statement unless you have a global JSON. So I think some code had to be written, and now it looks like you can actually go get that, which is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, look at this. You can get SDK version, the SDK version global JSON when fetch SDK version is true. I wonder if I could put this together while we're looking at creating segments. So I'm talking about using segments in customizing your prompt, which is changing your OM, you don't have to call it omp.json, but whatever you call it, changing that JSON file. That's one thing, but creating your own segments is a whole that's a whole other piece, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
A
I'm
little bit
not
more
as well
complex.
versed into how to do that, actually.
And neither am I. I've read some stuff. I'm trying to figure this out. So here's the rationale or why I kind of get interested in this. And one of the things so what I want to do is I want to create a segment that tells you what the active GitHub CLI account is. The GitHub CLI lets you interact with GitHub, when it comes to, checking out the number of issues or getting information about the repository. You're doing, you can do check-ins and push, just like you do with Git, but you could use the GitHub command to do that. You could do pull requests, I believe, with the CLI as well, right? So it gives you a good bit of control locally on your machine. Now, one of the things why, because I haven't used it all that much, but until I got Copilot CLI, which is GitHub Copilot running in the command line or in the terminal, I now have the need for it to have access to issues. So I can ask it questions about, hey, look at this issue, define a plan for how you might want to resolve this issue, and let's talk through the plan, right? That's typically how I work with the Copilot CLI. And initially it was fine. I had one repository or one account going against our internal account, but now I've got another demo environment that we spun up that also has a GitHub instance over there. So for me, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, and I need to know, hey, where am I having this conversation with, so that I'm creating issues in the right place, or I'm looking for the repo in the right place. And I thought a GitHub segment would be an appropriate thing to kind of build out.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm not that well versed on what we have to do here. Let me just see. Oh,
so there
I didn't
is
spell that correctly. I want to see if I can just real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't. I wanted to see if that was going to add the .NET segment, but like I said, it's been a while, and I don't know if I've updated Oh My Posh in a while either. So,
Gotcha.
I don't exactly remember if I have to, what exactly I have to do to get it to take my changes. So, like I said, it's been a while since I've upgraded this. So, anyways, yeah.
Gotcha. So I'm go ahead.
I was looking for where in the docs you work on
right there.
New segments. Is it down here?
Contributing.
Okay.
So this Get Started section. Well, if you go to the Get Started, that talks through the things we kind of need to put in place. And then I think the first thing up there is actually isn't there like a Git clone up above that?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to fork, and then, this way, if you think about it, if you want to contribute this back, this would be something you need to do. I think for us, we're just going to kind of run this locally for a while and see. And then that might be a way to kind of pull that, later on if we think, hey, this is pretty cool. Let's kind of give back on it.
Right.
And so those install dependencies you have there, there is I think we want to write this in Go. It shouldn't be that complicated, and we can get some good help and support from Copilot as we go through and do this. There is if you look at that section there's actually a Go guide that gives some information around installing Go and doing those kind of, kind of getting yourself up and running there. And then there's an install agents, because a companion repository that lives under Jan de Dobler's account is an agent's repo. And what that will do is, by installing those, you now have access to shortcut commands. So there's actually a prompt in there for segments, and that will walk us through the process, or I believe it, so we can plan out what that segment is. We can take a look at the prompt itself and see what it is.
Okay. I don't know how much of this you have configured. I haven't done any of this.
I haven't done any of it yet. So I was thinking that we would walk through it. So,
okay.
Go is probably the first thing we should try to kind of get kicking off in the background, I would think.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see if there is well, there's an MSI. There should be a winget then.
Well, yeah, they actually show if you click winget. I'm not sure how far it's going to go, the way how far down it'll go. So I'm not sure. Are they really? I don't think they're really discussing. Yeah, they're not really discussing how to install Go here.
No, but that's on the. If you go back on the manual one, that's on the tab that's there. So
Okay.
Go guide.
Yeah, they're basically saying, hey. I wonder if there's a winget for this MSI installation.
That's what I'm looking up. There's Golang, which is Go, right?
Right. Yes. You just wonder who it's from, but yes, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't. I'll be honest. It's Google, right? Google makes Go.
So right now, the Go project, I'm not 100% sure if it's become more, like, for example, it talks about Go. I feel like it's sort of spun off at this point.
Okay.
But see, what we can do is you got to figure that there's a GitHub repo. Here we go. And we've got Go, build, package, mirror. And what I don't know is if in here it says binary edition install from source. Yeah, again, I was just curious. I'm not saying that I know for sure that there is a winget install that we would want to use. It's probably fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to see if there is, and because what you can do is you know how to check and see where the source of the repo or where the source of the library is. So if you load up your command line.
Yep. Hold on. Let me do that. Okay.
Cool. And then from here, we're just going to do winget search and search for Go. That's going to give us a ton of stuff. But if you scroll up to the top, pretty much, once you get past the MS Store entries at the very top,
yeah,
that first one there is the Go one. Now, what you can do is the ID is the important part, so golang.go. But what you can do is instead of just jumping right to install, do winget show golang.go. And what that does is that gives you all the URLs for where this is going to get downloaded from. So it's a way of kind of checking and making sure that the source of the information matches kind of where you expect it to be. So there is.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's from go.dev.
Right. I mean, it all checks out.
Yeah. Right.
So now you can just go up arrow and then replace show with install, and now you've got Golang up and running, or you've got Golang on your machine, which is really, I think, all we need to do from that documentation step.
Right.
And I apologize, it's my project, but we got you up and running here. So
if you have it running, we could switch.
No, I don't. We're in the same boat, but.
All right. I just don't know how long this part's going to take. And then this is another thing where, there's so many other options.
Stuff while we're waiting.
Yeah, there's other things that are interesting to do here too. Like, for example, of course, I haven't opened this in a while. That makes me wonder how far out of date I am. We've got my WSL version. I happen to have Ubuntu 24, and quite frankly, I could get. I don't think I have Go running here, and I mean, I could certainly install it, or there's a lot of things we could do, right? Like,
Mhm.
it just depends. Like, you could eventually turn this into a container, so that instead of having to have it installed, you just have it ready to go.
Yeah.
But in any case,
Which is true, right? We should be able to find a dev container that's got Golang already in it.
yeah, and then
Node
you could go
container.
a little bit further and have it so that it's also introduce, whatever you need set up for Oh My Posh, and maybe a
Mhm.
Visual Studio Code extension, and now you got yourself like a code space ready to go to work on. It might be useful for more than just this, but it's ready to go to work on Oh My Posh segments.
Definitely.
So on another monitor, the MSI is actually showing installs that it's going. That's even though we've got the little spinner going here.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So,
Do you have Node on your machine?
I do. Let me see. It's been a little while. I guess I only have 24. So here's another little bit that may be useful to people. I tend to use, and I know that this is in flux a little bit, I tend to use NVM for Windows. When I'm in Windows, I'll use NVM, which is a different project on like Linux. So again, this is not the same thing as NVM. Node Version Manager is a thing, and I've used it in the past because what I like about it is that I can basically tell it, hey, can you switch my node version to this or that? Again, another thing that used to be incredibly important. Now, I haven't been on a project using Node in a little while, long enough that you can see I didn't have a bunch of Node versions listed. But you basically you could just switch them without having to say, hold on, I got to go install a different version. And then what can happen in an org is you could get to a place where a certain project isn't ready for the later node. And so you find yourself like, how do I manage back and forth? And so NVM does that. And this NVM for Windows project I've used for years, and they have been working on the successor. So
nice.
I'm not sure where it is.
It's not a replacement for Node or NPM,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
Okay. It runs
for example, like, I can do this really quickly. You can see I only have one NVM, one node listed. And what I could do is I could say NVM install, and I think 18.0 was like, that was a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to go do it. And hopefully this doesn't take too long. But okay, there we go. And so now I say NVM list, and I could say NVM use 18.0.0. And so what happens is you've switched all of the pointers on your system, all of the pathing, all of the, basically there's multiple folders sitting on your machine. You don't know it. Yeah. But when you type node on your machine, when you do node version, this is hitting an executable in the path essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But Node itself, by default, is expecting certain file locations to be there for things.
Okay.
And what happens is when you do an NVM use, is that it switches all of that for you just really quickly.
Okay.
So it keeps them compartmentalized. And theoretically, I could go to NVM. I could go to Node 18. I could do a global install of a package, go to 24, and that package won't be globally installed as far as it looks and feels to me when I'm using 24, when I'm using 18. So like I said, I've got Node 24 right now, and we know that Go is installed, which is great. And so the next thing was, I got to go back to the documentation.
Agents there, because you got Node, you got VS Code, obviously.
Right.
So now we're down at installing agents and skills.
Okay. Now, one thing I don't know is I don't know if I have. I guess we're going to find out. Because a lot of this stuff I tend to do in code spaces, but maybe I do have pip. I think I do. Okay, fine.
Wow. Okay.
And part of it is that um, I'm trying with .NET because I use .NET like so much that installing it locally doesn't bother me so much. But with other languages, what I'm trying to do is like what I typically try to do is say, can I get a containerized environment for this? And the thinking is that if I ever put that particular repo up on GitHub, I want there to be a code space Docker file ready. So somebody says like, oh, I'd love to use it in Docker, or someone else says, can I just fire up a code space?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, go ahead. So it looks like that's all working.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look at, I see. I'm behind. I'm sure I'm behind, but it didn't complain too much.
Nope. So now you do the APM install to get the skills.
Oh, clone the repository. Okay. I have not done that. I have not done that.
Okay.
As you can see, I was absolutely paying attention to all of this. I'm not sure how this is going to work for me, but yeah. And I suppose I could fork it. I suppose I could fork it first. Okay. Yeah, no big deal. All right. So let's come back up here. Let's fork. Copy the main branch only. That sounds fine. All right. Grab this. Okay. All right. And then what was the piece here?
APM install, yeah.
Yep. And so it needed a YAML file to basically say, what are you installing? And so here we go. It added some GitHub skills, it looks like. Cool.
Yeah. We should pop those open and take a look.
Okay. You see, I like to do code dot to just jump right in. That's something I like to do. I don't know how. So yeah, in the GitHub folder, what are the recommendations? Interesting. Language support for Go. I suppose that could be useful. And then I'm actually going to let a lot of these other ones go for now.
Yeah, I think so.
But let's come back and take a look here. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It opened a million things. Okay. Let's close. Can I close all the windows very quickly? Yeah.
If you right-click, there you go.
So, we have a GitHub folder, and the GitHub folder is filled with agent skills, like workflows. This is GitHub Actions, right? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay, workflows is GitHub Actions, yeah. And, Copilot instructions. I mean, look at this.
Because you kind of need those.
So, and then I wonder, though, like, what else? I wonder if it's set up for multiple coding, like agent. But it doesn't matter.
Well, we can look at the agents, right? Because there's only one in there, and there's an architecture agent. So basically, design code with performance maintenance. This should help us get the code it creates if we use this agent done in a way that is following Bob Martin's clean code.
Yeah, interesting.
Method.
And also, let's see, object calisthenics, Jeff Bay. Okay, cool. Huh. I think that's great. This is such a weird world to feel like, hey, do these things.
Because everybody knows Uncle Bob.
Yeah, you used to have to go and read all this stuff. You couldn't just say, you just say, hey, agent, go ahead and use these principles. Okay, fine. So,
so that's an agent. So an agent is something that you can call into. If you had the Copilot window up and over there, you could select that probably as one of the agents.
Does this open it or
No, the one at
this one?
the chat guy. There you go.
Okay.
So now where it says with that little kind of hexy just to the right of the plus. So those are
Man,
all of the agents that are essentially available from
this
somewhere.
yeah, I think this is the one that it's picking up, right?
Because the name matches, yeah.
Right.
So if you were to do that, that's the one that would get called.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I really want that set, or do you just leave it like this?
I would leave it as under the regular agent at the very top.
Okay. And does that mean like it's going to try to figure out what to use? So something that I deal with all the time is I come into these tools and I want to like, my brain wants me to shut off all the ones that don't apply to what I'm working on.
Right.
But I don't know if I'm like, just don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
case in point, let me do this. If you go to the gear at the top of the, open customizations, this is new.
Okay.
So this, I think, gets to what you're looking for. So if you look at all the agents there, you should have a way. I was watching a video, actually this morning on the treadmill, I was watching a video where they did this. Well, that copies the path, but there was like almost like checkboxes that you could enable or disable them.
Yeah. Huh. Generate agent. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so like it knows about these skills, and there's a Golang skill it knows about. This is the other one where, well, okay, it's fine. Seems fine. There's only like 19 skills loaded. Okay, which is good. Because I remember having an issue where like there was some limit, and maybe it wasn't skills, maybe it was something else.
That was the MCP servers. Yeah.
MCP tools. Yeah. Oh, this is stopped. I wonder why. I don't know why it says stopped.
If you go to the gear, we should be able to get to the.
It could just be that maybe I haven't started. Oh, start server.
There you go.
Okay, cool. All right.
Nice.
All right. So do we need to look at these skills or?
We can, yeah. So in the workspace, so that means in our project that we've got open, we've got those skills that are listed there. So,
right.
And what's interesting, so obviously there's skills for Golang, for things in PowerShell and Markdown and what have you. But that's the one to kind of take a look at, right? Because this is really what we want to do.
Yep.
Now
cool.
The agent is going to it's kind of like you're calling into an agent, and that agent is going to take over that session. This is how I think about it, right? That agent has that context of everything we do in this session is focused on what the agent is aware of and what the agent can do. So any tools or skills or things that it might have kind of, puts it all in that context. When you think about a skill might be something that you don't necessarily drive into like you do with an agent. But when you request doing something like, hey, I want to go ahead and create a new segment, that triggers the information that's in the skill. The skill could have code in it, it could have templates in it, it could have other markdowns in it that define what goes on. So all of those together make up what the skill itself can do in the context of what you're asking it.
Okay. So hey, that .NET one has dropped in.
Oh, nice.
And it's picking up that this is a 10. So it's interesting, 10.0201. But I feel like I have other projects. Let me think. I think PizzaBot is. I wanted to say that did this not have a global JSON?
You might have to get down to the source level.
Yeah, that could be. I could be wrong, and there also may not be one. I may not have a global JSON in that project. It's a bummer because I was trying to figure out what projects I might have one. Here we go. So there is a global JSON in this one, and see it's saying 10.02.01.
Which I think is the latest.
And yeah, that's what the global JSON there is saying. I know this is a little bit of an aside.
It's okay.
So I think it's diving in and figuring out, oh, yeah, here's the release you're on. So I was just trying, I just added that to my, so a little while ago, well, maybe not on screen. I don't know. Maybe it was, is I added, because I saw that new .NET support, I just added the .NET segment, and I just said, hey, in their sample, they just have this template. I didn't even bother modifying it. I was just like, okay, let's just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already giving me information, which is cool. So, okay. So what do we think the first step is here? Let me take a quick look at my terminal and show you what I think, where I think you're heading is, for example, I added the .NET thing. That's cool. But we were in this Oh My Posh folder. But however, the subject of, like, the object that you are, I don't know how to say this, like, you want to work on something that deals with the GitHub CLI. That's this, right?
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if there's a help, maybe. I don't know if there is. Okay, cool. I'm not super well versed in the GitHub CLI, but it sounds to me like one of the issues is that you authenticate. Is it auth that you authenticate with multiple? Okay.
Yeah, so you can do a get auth login, or you can actually just do GitHub status.
Okay, yeah, because I was about to say, like, I'm already pretty sure I'm logged in, and it's saying, oh wow, interesting.
Sorry, auth status. My bad.
Okay. I was going to say, I've never used that command before, and I haven't used this one either. So it's like, okay, it says, hey, all right, I got you. And what you're saying is that essentially you want, I don't know that it's exactly this, but you kind of want this exposed.
Yes.
Or something like it.
Something
that lets you know which account you're logged into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I do mine, I have multiple accounts in there.
Okay. All right, cool. So now, do you think this is a matter of starting up Copilot, and then do I need to pick an agent? Or I could do that in Copilot too.
I think it's even easier. Okay. So if we just go into, if you go into back into VS Code where we were.
Oh, right. I hear what you're saying. Just do it in VS Code. Okay. I'm sorry. I've gotten so used to the
Oh, I agree.
GitHub Copilot CLI that I like don't even think about these other ones anymore, even though I know they're here. So okay.
So close the skill. Okay. Now you should be able to do /.
Oh, down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Segment.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. So we're heading. So it'll fully scaffold a workflow for creating a segment now.
Okay. Do I type more?
We probably could, because then it would probably start to include different things. Because what we want to do is create a segment that displays the account name of the active GitHub CLI account. Well, you can be logged in with multiple accounts. When I have 2 accounts in, one's active, and the rest are false.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So like you could say can you say like GitHub auth and then it does other stuff?
Yeah, there's a
log in, log out, switch.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do I have to say anything more, or do you think that's good enough?
I think it's a good start, because all it's doing is the scaffolding, potentially, maybe a little bit more, because we kind of gave it some context around what we want to build. And we'll see what it comes up with. This might be as far as we can get today.
I appreciate that it popped this open.
Did you do that, or did
No,
pop
I
that
didn't
up
do
for
it.
you?
I didn't do this. I have a feeling that it's possible that the Go extension got activated.
Hmm.
And so that might have popped up like, look, you haven't used the Go extension before. Because I see that happen with different things. I didn't realize there was GitHub. I think it's GitHub Copilot. I wonder. It doesn't have to be GCP. It doesn't have to be GitHub Copilot. So yeah, stuff's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Right. So probably should be putting in or getting ready to put in. Well, there's source. Let's go see if let's go. I'm wondering if we put a folder in the repository for us under segments.
I don't know that it does, because the segments I noticed didn't seem to be in folders.
Oh,
Like, for example, the .NET segment is here, and it's just another file, right?
Mhm.
And fetch SDK version. Fetches the SDK in global JSON. Okay. Curious to see where it does that. It's enabled. Figure it out. What does .NET Test do? I wonder if it runs a test for you each time. Oh, that's interesting that it's, oh yeah, so github.go, I think did it edit something we didn't want it to do?
No, there's well, you can on the right there, you can open that thing where it says the one file changed,
Right.
and you can see what it modified.
So is this a new file?
Yeah, GitHub Go. It's like the types Go.
I guess there wasn't a GitHub one before. Only because it's saying that it added 64 lines and,
because the other one was a Git.
Right.
The one that we were showing before was the Git one.
The skill that, not the skill, the segment type I use now is Git, not GitHub.
Interesting. Yeah.
I guess we could have called this like GitHub CLI or something like that. I don't know. But let's see. What are we doing in here? Import segments. Select the GitHub host. It's interesting. It looks like it very quickly runs GitHub auth status and then parses it.
That's what we need. Yeah.
And then it returns, if it was able to parse the GitHub account, which it's doing here. It's going through and trying to find, it's using a regex to trying to find active account regex, which I think was defined up here, perhaps. Yes. Yeah, look at that. Huh. Wow. Okay.
I don't write that regex.
Yeah. So core files are in place. I need to fix one ordering issue in the CLI sidebar, then run the new docs page. Oh, okay. Sure. We're going to write the docs too. Man,
why not?
It's way too ambitious.
Well, that's what's great about having a skill. It defines all the things it needs to kind of move that along. So there's no getting around it.
So now I'd have to figure out how to add this new GitHub type, which I'm trying to figure out how does it know. So there was another file that it changed, and I don't know that it was here.
Well, it's the segment types under source config.
Okay.
There you go.
I wonder if
And
it's
add
just
a
going to be.
segment in there.
I wonder if it's just going to be GitHub. Yeah, here it is. So I suppose while I'm at it is I could say, okay, type is GitHub. Now I don't know what else I need.
Probably a style, right?
Yeah, a lot of times you need. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily do, but a lot of times this is helpful. And then again, I don't know what colors to use yet, so I'm actually not going to worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a template's going to be required.
Yeah.
May or may not be. But let's go see what it thinks about. Is it done? Oh, it's got more to do. And here's the other thing. Just because I did this stuff doesn't mean that it's
because
compiled, right? Yeah, it might have blown up somewhere or not. I don't know.
I think it's still thinking.
But I think it's interesting now to kind of go back and follow and see what it takes to add a segment type.
What is that GitHub MDX? It's like one down from the highlighted one in the list of things it added.
Well, is it part of the documentation? Yes.
No, it's actually is it?
No, so in the docs segment CLI GitHub. So what it's doing is it's creating documentation for this new GitHub segment and providing a sample. All right, so it I didn't even have to come up with it. Here it is. And then it tells you, look, who do you want to query, which I'm not even sure. Oh, they were okay, right. All right. So github.com is fine. I'm not sure why that would be different. I just don't know the answer. Maybe there's enterprise customers. I don't know. And the template just says count. So
yeah, there's obviously the cloud way of authenticating, but you could also potentially authenticate from a server like your local GAG. Because I know the CLI covers a couple different use cases.
Oh, this change. It's asking me to keep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all of those on the left there, we've got to keep. Or, I'm sorry, on the right.
Okay. All right. I don't know how to tell it just to keep going. Enable auto approve. Is that what that is?
At a high level, yes, but you can also, even though you enable that, you should be able to enable like within a session now. So if you do the drop down on this one, and say allow in this workspace, so it'll it's up from the top, second from the top.
Well, that's to allow this command, right?
On all commands in the session.
I'm tired of babysitting it. So when it does fdisk, then the show will end. What does this say? Please provide the required input to the terminal.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I hate this. How the terminal is different. It bugs me. Because it was trying to do a get. I think it was trying to do something. Okay. Now,
Git configs, yeah.
Here's the thing. Targeted go test how get safe directory ownership restriction. Now, how do I, the problem now is I don't know how to run it. Like I literally don't know how to make this
So that's not your current.
Well, they're up in Boston.
I mean, this is a terminal that's running inside VS Code, but I don't know how to make this Oh My Posh version that we've compiled be the one running on the system. I just don't know. And I'm not sure if it did that or if I need to ask.
You could ask. I would think it's there's only one running, and it did do a build of it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. I'll live with that. It's going to be like, huh? What's wrong with you? But it was interesting to kind of see what I mean, I could see myself just running. Okay, I probably confused it.
Just opening up another command line.
Right, this is what I was looking for.
Oh, so you got to point it to the other source.
Yes. Okay, so I think I can come into here and I think I can say, oops. Okay, there's a source folder, right? So src, okay. And then it's saying that this is source.exe, fine. And then yes, I could say init for PowerShell and throw the config at it. I'm pretty sure. Because this is what happens in my profile. My PowerShell profile is I kind of have that. So it's like I put in a GitHub one, although this may not work. I still should be able to get the path. So copy the path, come back here. And I'm basically saying use this, and that didn't work. I think I know why. So source.exe, and then, yeah, that's just because we're in PowerShell. And do this. Okay. Oh, look at that. Like, I actually think that's what you were looking for.
That's the name we need. Now, you don't have multiple accounts, so we can't tell if it's really active, but that's...
Actually, I take it back. I can log in with other accounts. I can do that. So I don't generally use a lot of GitHub accounts, but I will tell you that we've talked about the We Connect the Dots competition, right?
Oh, yeah.
So every year, on purpose, I create a brand new GitHub account because I film, gosh, here we are. How old am I? I record myself creating a GitHub account, and I try to do it like the day before because, unfortunately, if I try to use last year's video, the whole GitHub sign up process will be different. It's just how it is. So I do this year after year after year. In fact, so here is one right here. Here is an older account that I'm going to get information for that I can. So if I use the GitHub CLI, is it auth that I want?
Auth and then login.
Okay, auth login. And I'll say I use it on github.com, and I and whatever. And again, I might have to switch off, log in with a web browser.
It'll take you over
Sure.
to a browser.
That should be okay. And then I need that one-time code. But first I have to go to a browser where I'm logged in, right?
Oh,
No, it'll step you through the login process. You don't have to be logged in.
All right. All right. But what I do want, no. Look, I want this in an in private type deal, right? So let me.
Makes sense.
I just want to get that going. That's all. Okay. So just to make sure, absolutely sure, I'm going to use. All right. So it's asking me to It's asking me to sign into GitHub first. So I'm going to do that real quickly with a totally alternate account. And like I said, every year I actually go through this process of, oh shoot, it has to be verified by email. That sucks. Let me see how complicated that's going to be. Probably because I haven't logged in 50 years. It's like, hey, why, what's this login that you're doing, right?
Where you been?
Yeah, exactly. Can't find my Google account. Well, that's not good. Okay. Maybe I got better at this as the years went along. Oh no, Google account's here. Sorry. I got it. I mean, I have one of these like year after year after year, you know, because each year I go through this process just to make sure that it hasn't changed too much. I don't want to make a passkey for this. Passkeys didn't even exist when I made this account. And I actually don't care about this at all. Can we just go to Gmail, please? And I would have liked for it to have shown up, but it didn't. Can you send it again? Ah, okay. There it came through. Sorry that this is all off screen.
No, that's okay. That's where it should be.
And continue. Okay, now it wants to know this code. Okay, so I should be able to cut and paste it. Yep. And it's basically saying to authorize GitHub. You're all set. So I'm back here. And
You should be able to just presenter, right? That would.
Yeah. It's still fighting me though. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Authentication complete. So there it is. Sorry that took so long. But there it is, right? So I am now. I mean, this is what you're looking for.
Yeah. So if you do GitHub status here, you're going to see 2 accounts.
Oh shoot! That's right.
I'm sorry, GH status. My bad. Auth status.
Yeah, look at that. And so this is the scenario you deal with, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it might be rare, but I don't think it is. I think we all have personal GitHub accounts. We have internal accounts if you're using GitHub in your enterprise. So the possibility of swapping between the two is real. Now,
so the thing I find interesting is that it went ahead and picked up the GitHub cat logo. Like I didn't even, do that really.
Well, that probably came from the
default template
session.
Well, I think it's the default template, right? What I'm getting at is that I find it interesting the choices that it makes without much prompting at all. All I did was say, give me the GitHub segment and use these colors. And they basically said, well, not they really, whatever, is they were like, hey, here's a sample version.
I don't.
And I could switch to these colors pretty quickly. And I could just come in here and say, it could be whatever you want. That's what's cool about it. It's already trying to fix it. I don't think I needed these to be. All right, I'm lost as to what it's trying to do. Unfortunately, it's getting in the way there. Okay, so yeah, just fix this, okay? All right, cool. So if I save this, I'm not sure if it takes effect right away. I don't remember. Or,
You might have to reload it.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. And we can do that. We can say, all right, did I not save it? I thought I did. Oh, no, I changed the .NET one. Haha. I picked the wrong one. Yeah. So that's just what they picked by default. But obviously, you could do anything you want.
That's what's great about it. You customize it for what you need.
Can I just switch now? Can I switch accounts in here?
Yes. Should just be off switch.
Yeah, that's right. We even talked about this earlier, and I already forgot. So I could say switch, and it just automatically picked. And so, like, so there you go. But the thing about it is we don't know exactly for sure what the code does, and I don't know for sure everything it did, although we can figure it out what it did because we can just look at what got changed. And we modified this config segment.types file, modified some of the themes in sidebar. Okay, fine. This was, I think, all for the documentation stuff. But then there is a new GitHub Go. There's tests for it, I think, and then documentation on how this all works. And that's pretty much it. I don't think it's committed anything yet. I just want to double check in the log. Yeah. So it hasn't done anything. So
yeah, but it's done the right things, right? It's set things up with the tests and the documentation, and all those things.
Well, maybe next time we can try to go through what it did and learn a little bit of Go while we're at it, right?
Yeah, because there's one thing we haven't done that I think is at least in line for what I was thinking, which is the caching aspect of it, right? So every time you hit that command line or you hit an enter, it's going to go and run that Go command. Now, the Go command is a little more performant than just running the script option, because there's a couple different ways that you can do segments, but this would there's some caching conversations we should talk through.
Yeah. Okay. So this is living in my fork right now. I'll get it pushed up to GitHub. You can pull it yourself, Rich, and then we'll maybe reconvene and try to see how do you debrief from something like this where we used a one-line prompt and got a complete Oh My Posh customization. So welcome to the new world that I'm trying to navigate as figuring out how we make educational content. But in any case, I know it's pretty far past 9. Hey, I hope that didn't impact anybody else's stand-up. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Monday. And everybody, we'll see you all next time on the Dev Talk Show.